Welcome to the Caregiving Podcast. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie.
And long story short, we have Caregiving. We are two momtrepreneurs who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love. Almost 14 years later, we felt called to create this podcast as a resource for families with caregiving needs. Whether you care for a family member or are looking for advice on professional caregiving, we want this to be a platform to support you.
Each week, we will come to you with encouraging stories of families who have found the right balance for their loved ones, tips for how to care for them and you, and much more. We hope you continue to join us each week as we share in this exciting new journey together.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie.
Hello.
I feel like I've seen a lot of you today.
Oh, I feel like that every day.
Normally there's a wall in between us, but we've had to do a lot of interacting today. It's
Your
weird.
best day of your life.
Best day of Kevin's life.
Oh, boy.
Because Kevin's the roommate and he's not next to you right all day.
Yeah. When I'm stuck with you, then there you go.
You know, who's stuck with who?
Right.
Depends on the day.
Just about brought out a tune, but I'm going to stop myself.
Oh, thank God.
That was a close one.
Alrighty. Well, today we're going to be talking about heat stroke in the elderly.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, how do you like your temperature?
Well, actually, I'm thinking I'm going to have a heat stroke right now. I wore this cute sweatshirt today.
Yep.
Bring the joy, and it's a sunshine.
Yep.
Because we're talking about heat stroke, and I'm assuming that that's usually because of the sun.
Right?
But now I'm hot.
Okay, well, we'll talk fast.
Yeah.
We'll be informative but efficient.
So I'm in a quandary.
Okay.
I'm in a quandary because truly, I don't like it much more than 75 degrees, but I also don't like being cold.
I know.
So I got to find that little perfect place.
There is like a sweet spot that doesn't happen often.
No, you're hot, you're cold. You're weird though. I can
I
come
am
walking
too.
into your house, your office, and you've got the window open, but the heater going, or vice versa. And
I know.
There's times I have to leave. I'm just like, I don't even know how you can breathe in here.
I know. It's the joke in my house is always like, if mom's hot, everybody's hot. If mom's cold, everybody's cold. Because I need that instant gratification of the heat source. So I'll have the heater pointed at me, and then I'll start to overheat. And then I'm like, oh my God, let me go stick my head in the freezer or something.
Oh, yeah. The other day was driving down the road, and all of a sudden my butt got hot and it just shot through my body. And I was like, oh, push that off. Cause I now have this truck that has this seat thingy, and you don't use it for the heat. You use it for your backache.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh.
But it just hit me all of a sudden that I was roasting. It's like rolling down the window.
It's a weird feeling when you get that hot.
Just,
I mean, I had done acupuncture I tried it twice and I failed both times, basically. So, the second time I tried it, they actually had one like a heated mattress pad. So you're laying on it. Oh. And so I'm face down laying on this heated mattress pad, and I've got all these needles in my back. And I got that feeling that, oh my God, I'm yelling for the therapist or the acupuncturist, just yelling her name because I'm like, I'm going to vomit. So she comes running in, pulls all the needles out as fast as she can. And then I just barely made it to the bathroom. But yeah, heat is a weird thing for me. And I think that's why I'm so drastic in my changes on it. I too, though, I don't want to be too hot. I don't want to be too cold. What would you rather be like if you could only be one?
Well, probably a little chilly, not chilly.
Right.
Just chilly. Oh my word. I better grab my sweatshirt.
Yep. That's my favorite sweatshirt where you're comfortable in a
fuzzy
sweatshirt.
Socks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And I always like when overheating becomes a thing, take off the hat, take off the socks.
Mm-hmm.
Fastest way. And run under cold water on your wrists.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's scientific, I'm sure. Seriously though, if you run cold water, it helps to cool you down on your wrists. Yep. So now you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope
Not everybody has cold water to run their hands and wrists under in an emergency. But
and I hope not to have to.
Yes. True story. So verse of the week today.
Yes.
You brought for us 3 John chapter 1, verse 2. It says, Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul. Don't we wish that for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just thinking about health and heat strokes, and let's not have them.
Yeah. Let's try to stay healthy.
Yes.
It's bad. Heat stroke can cause a lot of issues.
Ooh.
I remember it doesn't just happen to older people. A couple of years ago at the Montana Royal, Sydney had heat stroke, and she was down and out for the entire event. She just had
poor baby.
Yeah, it'll get you.
Yeah, my mom doesn't sweat.
Really? Ever?
Mm-mm.
Huh?
Nope.
Her whole life?
Right? Yeah, no, and it's weird. She's weird.
Yeah.
Cheryl, you're weird.
It's just different than, so she's got to pay like extra
she's got to be
close
really,
attention.
really careful.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So she's really good about her floppy cute hats and everything, and just really monitoring that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have a verse that you'd like to send to us, we would love for that to happen. So please email them to thecaregivenpodcast@gmail.com, and we'd love to share your favorites. Maybe if there's some context behind it, or we'll come up with our own.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your good news story for the day?
You know, I don't have a good news story. I just have some funnies, and I just can't help it because that was my mood. There's some different little sayings that just made me giggle. Men do not quit playing because they grow old. They grow old because they quit playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. That is my mantra.
Yes, indeed.
It is better to wear out than to rust out. And life would be infinitively happier if we could only be born at the age of 80 and gradually approach 18.
Ooh, that's a concept.
Isn't that a good one?
Yes.
Yeah. What is
happiness.
Benjamin Button?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those were just kind of silly ones that made me smile.
Little tidbits.
Yeah.
I stumbled across a poem that is actually called The Good News, and it's by Thich Nhat Hanh. And I spelled it Thich Nhat Hanh, but it is not spelled that way. So, but I did look up the pronunciation. So here we go. The good news. They don't publish the good news. The good news is published by us. We have a special edition every moment, and we need you to read it. The good news is that you are alive, and the linden tree is still there, standing firm in the harsh winter. The good news is that you have wonderful eyes to touch the blue sky. The good news is that your child is there for you, and your arms are available. Hugging is possible. They only print what is wrong. Look at each of our special editions. We always offer up the things that are not wrong. We want you to benefit from them and help protect them. The dandelion is there by the sidewalk, smiling its wondrous smile, singing the song of eternity. Listen, you have ears that can hear it. Bow your head, listen to it. Leave behind the world of sorrow and preoccupation and get free. The latest good news is that you can do it.
Oofda. That's awesome.
I thought so.
Is that a website or something?
I just typed in good news poems and voila.
Yeah,
Alyssa will link it. I'm
Link
sure
it.
she'll link it in the show notes on
Is
how
that
you
a
can
copy
connect into that.
paste thing? Yeah, I
She's-
know how to do that.
She's also magic. Anyway.
That was awesome. I really did like that a lot.
Yeah. So email us good news stories or
Yes.
uplifting or poems
Do
or
it.
funnies. Again,
Funnies.
thecaregivenpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
We love sharing.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are going to talk about hot weather safety for older adults and trying to make sure that there's no heat stroke or heat exhaustion because that can really throw you for a loop. Yeah.
So you had a story here, and it's basically, and I'm sure that this has happened a million times out there. There's an individual, their bus is late, and even though it was noon on a very hot summer day, this individual decided to walk from the grocery store to her home because the bus was late, right? So she thought, I can make it. I'll just walk it. So this was a healthy and an active 72-year-old, and basically thought the heat wouldn't be a match for her, but after walking just one block, felt dizzy and weak. Wow. And I think this can happen. It happens faster than you even realize it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and just too much heat is not safe for anyone. It's even riskier if you're older or have health problems. And it's just important that if you start to feel that way, you just have to get relief as quickly as you can.
Yeah, being hot for too long, it can be a problem. It can cause lots of different illnesses. So one of the things that can come from heat exhaustion is heat syncope. And this is a sudden dizziness that can happen when you are active in hot weather. If you take heart medication, beta blockers, if you're not used to the hot weather, you're probably more likely to feel faint. You need to rest in a cool place, put your legs up, drink water, and that should help make that dizzy feeling go away. So heat syncope.
Right. Then there's heat cramps, are the painful tightening of muscles in your stomach, arms, and legs. And those cramps can be a result from the work or exercise that you do. Though your body temperature and pulse usually stay normal, these cramps can still hit you. Find a way to cool your body down. Rest in the shade or in a cool building. Drink some liquids, but not those with alcohol or caffeine.
Right.
And so I actually find that to be interesting. I never thought about a heat cramp in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
That could hurt.
I would imagine that it does.
Yeah.
For sure. Huh. There's heat edema, and that's like swelling in your ankles or your feet when you get really hot. So you want to make sure that you get your legs put up to reduce some of that swelling. And honestly, if you do put your legs up and that swelling doesn't reduce, fairly quickly, you're definitely going to want to check with your doctor on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Heat exhaustion is a warning that your body can no longer keep itself cool. You might feel thirsty, dizzy, weak, uncoordinated, and nauseated. You may sweat a lot. Your body temperature may stay normal, but your skin may feel cold and clammy. Mm-hmm. Some people with heat exhaustion have a rapid pulse. Rest in a cool place and get plenty of fluids. If you don't feel better soon, get medical care. And because that heat exhaustion then can move into heat stroke.
Mm-hmm. And heat stroke really is a medical emergency.
Yeah.
If you have heat stroke, you need to get that medical help right away. Older people living in homes and apartments without air conditioning or fans, mm-hmm. they are the ones who are at most risk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people who become dehydrated or those with chronic diseases or alcoholism are also more at risk. Some of the signs, go ahead.
Yeah, fainting, possibly the first sign, or mm-hmm. becoming unconscious, change in behavior, confusion, agitation, staggering, becoming grouchy, body temperature over 104, which is never good, or your dry, flushed skin and a strong, rapid pulse or a slow, weak pulse, and not sweating even if it's hot. Last year, my daughter, and she's very, very healthy and athletic. Mm-hmm. She's was 19 at the time. She had gone on quite a long hike and forgotten her water. Mm-hmm. And so as they were getting to the top, she was like, "Hey, everybody, I need to go. I need to get home." And they were like, "Oh, we're so close to the top." So she said she ran to the top, touched it, and then ran back to the car. Mm. But as she was sitting there and was able to get the water into herself, even by the time they drove back into town, they stopped somewhere for dinner, she actually fainted in line. Mm. And of course, freaked everybody out in the restaurant.
Oh, sure.
She was able to jump up and make a bad joke, but I think she fainted twice.
Oh, wow!
Before her body regulated itself, and she is healthy, 19-year-old.
Yeah. So
it can happen to anybody, but elderly. Then it proves that if you have other issues, it can just get worse so much faster.
Yeah. So who's at risk? So each year, most people who die from hypothermia are over 50 years old. And basically some of the health problems that are going to put you at greater risk for heat stroke would be heart or blood vessel problems, poorly working sweat glands, heart, lung, kidney disease, or any illness that makes you feel weak all over and results in a fever. Some conditions that are being treated by drugs such as diuretics, sedatives, tranquilizers, some heart medicines, and they may make it harder for your body to be able to cool itself. Mm-hmm. If you're taking several prescription drugs, that could put you at greater risk. Being overweight or underweight, and then again, the alcoholic beverages are going to play into that.
Yeah. Yeah, so to lower your risk, actually, drink plenty of liquids such as water or fruit or vegetable juices. And once again, they're saying stay away from the alcohol or the caffeine.
Don't have any fun at all.
Oh, my goodness. But, when you think about a summer day and you're out on the water,
yep.
and people tend to just have those treats with them, mm-hmm. and you just don't even think about it. If you live in a home or apartment without fans or air conditioning, try to keep your house as cool as possible. I know that I don't like to use my oven mm-hmm. during the summer. And then also where my kitchen is, as the sun rises, that's where all of the sunlight comes. And so I always put up one of my bigger towels mm-hmm. and just keep that dark.
Yeah, lots of people I think will, shades are up at this time of day, shades are down at this mm-hmm. time of day, and it's just they work their way around their house to kind of beat the sun.
And this is making me think about the number of deaths that there are every year for like people in the southern part of America where it gets so dang hot. Just last weekend, my daughter, who we were talking about earlier, she it was 39 when she got on her airplane. And when she got into Phoenix, it was, it was over 100. And so
Yeah, that's a huge.
that was over like almost
Shock.
70, almost 80 degrees different within 3-4 hours. Wow.
Yeah. So basically, things to do again with limiting risk. If you need help getting to a cool place, reach out, ask somebody to help you. Dress for the weather. Find fabrics such as cotton that help you to be cooler. Don't try to exercise or do a lot of activities outdoors when it's really hot. I know when we are working with our lambs, that's something that when it gets into summer more, just because they're athletes, right? So you either have to get up super early in the morning before the sun comes up and it starts to get hot out, or you're doing your practices, at 10, 11 o'clock at night because you don't want to be in the dead of the heat.
Yep. Yeah. So they actually say that there's about 12,000 Americans die annually from heat-related causes. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that weren't prepared one way or another.
Yeah, and more than 80% of them are older than 60.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty staggering.
So why does heat affect our elders more?
Basically, we've talked about it before, but the ability to sweat is going to decrease with age. So older adults just produce less sweat, their bodies retain less water, and that means less available sweat results in the reduced ability to cool through evaporation. Yep.
Many seniors have underlying health conditions that make them less able to tolerate the heat.
And then again, we've talked about it, but there are medicines that can contribute to dehydration, which obviously then is a factor in those heat exhaustion or heat stroke scenarios.
Right.
And I think a lot of it too is just people forget to drink or they don't feel the urge to drink. So a lot of the people that we serve, that's kind of part of the gig. We're just always bringing liquids to them, reminding them.
Well, I try to drink, a big jug of water every day, and I should probably be drinking 2 of those at least.
Right.
But it's hard work. It is. I don't know why. I'll get to the end of the day and go, oh, I'm only this far into it, so I'll chug it, and then I have to go to the bathroom for the rest of the night. But just truly, you just have to be mindful of that.
I find that if I start my day out drinking water versus an iced tea or a special drink, coffee, moonshine, whatever, I will drink a lot more water if I start out with water. If I start out with something that is not water, doesn't matter what it is, I just don't drink that much water that day.
Wow.
It's bizarre, but I'm sure there's science to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
So what is heat stroke? It's the most severe heat-related illness. It's a medical emergency requiring fast treatment and oftentimes accompanied by neurological warning signs, confusion, seizures, even loss of consciousness, or the fainting like you had talked about.
Boy. So the symptoms is a change in behavior. I think we've gone through most of these: body temperature, no sweat, rapid pulse, dizziness, loss of consciousness. And what are we going to do about that when we see somebody? So basically, you need to just immediately start to cool them off. Take them to a cool area. Those cool compresses are so good. I have some in my freezer that are frozen, and they're almost like those rice bags, but they can be hot or cold. But you just put even on the back of your neck, it just immediately feels better.
The one that I think I learned from my grandma Fisher is a bag of frozen peas is really great for anything, that you need to ice, because the peas will form around you versus sometimes you get like a block of ice those old fashioned ones, but just like you're saying, something that's going to be more comfortable.
Yep. Contour.
Yes.
Yeah. Remove your clothing. You already said this. That's funny. Socks, shoes, anything that could make them feel hotter.
It's amazing how much heat you hold in your your feet and your head.
Yeah,
really.
when I go outside to do chores and I'm going to go outside and I know it's going to be cold, I just will bundle, put my scarf, put my hat, and then I get out there and start moving, and I'm like, why did I put on so much?
Every time.
Strip, you know?
Yeah.
But the hat is always the first to go off.
Yeah.
Because that just, I think there's a number about how much heat just out of your hot little head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool water. Again, encourage that drinking, and seek help if needed.
Yeah.
Don't forget to do that.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. And boy, they said avoid giving too much liquid or aspirin, though. The majority of heat stroke sufferers are in an altered state of consciousness, which may make it hard to drink or swallow safely. If they're unable to drink, help them drink a little at a time. Do your best to keep them cool and conscious until help arrives.
Yeah. So don't overdo it. I think
never
it's
thought
just
about that.
taking, small sips at regular intervals, I think, to get that liquid in. But it makes sense. I mean, and it's not so much related to like heat stroke or heat exhaustion, but how often do you, you think all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. I'm going to die if I don't get something. And then you just guzzle. And then you're just like, oh my God, now I feel terrible from that. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Some of the drinks that they say, the water, 100% juice drinks like orange juice or apple juice, sports drinks high in electrolytes, and coconut water. The one thing that I've done is I think it was just Walmart, and they have the box of the Pedialyte Freezy Pops.
Oh, yeah.
And just so I have a few of those in my freezer. And I encourage my girls, like Bailey, she races motorcycles. And on those very, very hot days, it is very important that she has extra electrolytes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and those Freezy Pops, I actually gave them to Mother so that she'd have them for Grandma. Because, just if you can't get your senior to drink, how about one of those fun little...
Just change the packaging of it.
Yeah, let's freeze this baby. And
presentation is half
and
the
they're
battle.
pretty colors.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, goodness. Wear light colored clothes, lightweight fabrics or materials, loose fitting clothes, hats and sunglasses. My mom and grandma, they always wear visors.
Yeah.
Always, which I think didn't maybe Mike say something? I've never seen Grandma Jean without her visor.
Oh, my word. The other day I said, Grandma Jean came to the office. He goes, did she have a visor on?
Yeah.
And it's so funny that he commented on that.
Yeah. And I don't even remember. I need to go back and get the context behind it because both my mom and grandma wear them. But I don't know when it started or what prompted it. Yeah. We actually, when we were in Oregon, we're doing they love to go to the Goodwill store and support that. There's St. Vincent de Paul, I think. And grandma was looking for a pink visor.
Oh,
so
cute.
She didn't find anything, but I'm fairly confident I could probably come up with something cool on Etsy, right?
Oh, right.
There's something out there.
Yes, that's adorable. And, that's funny that you talk about light colored clothes because I like to wear black.
Favorite color all the time.
Yes. I don't wear white. It just doesn't do anything for me when I tend to eat.
You're a spiller. Is that what it is?
That's a nice way to put it.
I thought it was because of the farm. I'm like, I cannot wear anything white on the farm. Just make it all black and then
just white in general.
Hope for the best.
Oh, my word. Yes.
Yeah. White is very risky. You asked me an episode or two ago if I was a risk taker. And I asked for context. When it comes to white, not so much. I mean, a little bit in my sweater, but that's about it. Also, I mean, just staying indoors and being conscious of your surroundings and what's happening. And so when it's the hottest part of the day, not probably the best time to be out in it.
Oh, that's the mid to late afternoon is that. So you have to adjust your day, like you said, exercising the animals or any of that. I always think about, I got to go mow my lawn. But one trip around the lawn and forget it. It's a quick reminder not to do it.
And take it easy.
Yeah.
Just simply take it easy, man.
Yeah. Turn off the lights, rest your eyes.
Yeah. Eat healthy.
I'd like to do
hydrate.
that right now.
I think I am right now. I might currently be in a state of a nap. I'm sounding a little lethargic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Did you know there's actually foods that are hydrating?
Oh, actually,
watermelon Strawberries, pineapple, starfruit. It makes sense though, because think about how juicy watermelon is.
Yeah.
There are actually vegetables that are hydrating as well.
Oh, you lost me at vegetable.
I know. I really did. Cucumbers, romaine lettuce, celery, radishes.
Really?
I wouldn't have thought about radishes. That's probably because I don't eat radishes, but if I did, and if I had any experience with them, I might know. Zucchini.
Yeah.
I mean, all those ones make sense to
Well,
me.
if your zucchini's in bread.
With some chocolate.
Yeah. With some slathered with butter.
Yep.
Yeah. Then some really, really great tips is to check in regularly with your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever age, but especially your elders that might be alone. You just want to check in and make sure that they're doing okay.
Yep.
Through a hot spell. Yeah. So I think
That's
a lot about the hot.
a lot about the hot.
Yep.
And I do not want to be hot.
I love it when we're doing a podcast and I realize that I'm also learning things.
Me too.
Besides just sharing the info. It's just like, oh, I never thought about that.
It's so much of it is just common sense. But
Yeah.
what is it? Brendan Burchard says common sense is not always common
practice.
practice.
Yeah. And I'm still back on that stomach cramp thing because it's not just a bad burrito that does that, evidently.
Or a bad McDonald's Coca-Cola.
Oh.
That happened to you the other day. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. No,
Oh, Jules.
I'm the one that's sorry.
So Alyssa gave us another grandma saying, I'll
Nice.
read it and then I'll have you read your one of your
Okay.
very favorites.
Yes.
But the advice is just look where it is and you'll find it. Common sense is that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what is yours? You had one that you just love, but I better give it to you.
Yes. You put me on the spot and I froze. I just one of my favorite sayings, and because we were talking about sunshine, it popped into my brain, and it said, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away."
Woohoo!
Ooh, I'm not going to quit my day job to go be a singer, but you can't just.
But you're crushing it at podcasting.
Crush.
That's awesome, Julie. Thanks so much. If you guys have not yet subscribed, please go and do that. You can do it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Leave us a review, share us with your friends, join our Apaga Care and Share group.
Yep.
And get in the discussion. We'd love to hear from you.
We want to hear from you.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Have a good day.